okay, just discuss about this. We're going to start discussion today. You and me come here, close here,
Right.
close here, talk here. And okay, my concern about this is Japanese any company prohibit to discuss about Nazi massacre or Kung Fu woman. But always I'm talking to the human resource people. This is wrong because overseas people, Japanese is like a grandfather or grandfather did wrongdoing in Asia Pacific. That is wrong. They didn't do anything, nothing wrongdoing except some kind of wrongdoing they did. But almost all doing is like a waging war against China. It means rape and killing people, of course, is a war. But Asian Pacific is not like that. Indonesia Dutch people, they try to doing some comfort woman kind of, brothers, Dutch woman, put it in the brother. That is wrongdoing. Some cases exactly happen. But many cases they never do that. Sort of things Japanese people never know that. They never discuss with Dutch people, French people, overseas people. They avoid discussion. But all overseas people, Westerners, in their mind, they studied school. They read Economist, New York Times kind of articles. They understand, but they never discuss with Japanese. Okay, but this is not good. You guys didn't need to discuss with Japanese with close friends, and then otherwise we cannot building up trust relationship. Just we discussed before. Currently, trust relationship. Okay, with Japanese overseas company president and vice president, they have a lot of people working for Japanese company, but they never trust Japanese people. This is a problem. Like a German, they discarded that image of Hitler, and they apologized many times.
Right.
But Japanese is different type of war, so we need to also bad thing compared with Germany.
But that is completely unknown in the West. That Japanese war was completely different because actually we, from the Western perspective, we equalize Nazi Germany with World War II Japan.
Oh, big problem is Japanese is they prohibited to study history based on American military war guilty information program.
Yes.
But this is the Japanese people. Nobody knows World War II. Nobody knows recent 100 to 200 years history Japanese had done for like against Korea, against Taiwan. They don't know that, but they should study. They should study. Okay, some portion is you did wrongdoing, you did good thing, but nobody knows that. And just Japanese articles like left wing, right wing.
But we don't know it either.
No.
The only thing that we remember are the civilians who were in camps, in Japanese prison camps. That's the only thing we know. We don't know anything about the relationships that were built up.
Oh, you mean the World War II?
Yeah, World War II. So we don't know anything about the relationship between Japanese authorities and the local authorities.
Exactly. This is so many people after World War II. Many people hanged
right
by British army because of their wrongdoing for them. But this is what happened in the true story. Nobody knows, but close to the true story. Japanese people never studied it.
Right. One of the problems may have been that what the prisoners were experiencing during World War II. Their guards, the people that had to keep them under control, they were people from the countryside, not educated.
Okay. I studied very well about this kind of portion. And Dutch people, British people, Australian people, what kind of treatment they had. But basically, Japanese military cannot waging war in Asia Pacific. They eat very poor food rather than local people. Barrack is poorer than local people. Japanese military, It means they don't have any kind of skill or any kind of power to waging war against British.
But they had their discipline. Eh?
Yeah, so
Extreme discipline.
Exactly. Japanese need to apologize for those things. So actually, they put the same level of treatment for British people. It means Japanese people also they dead many because of food and living conditions. But Japanese military forced them to simulate the same environment. But British and European military level soldiers is more and more higher level living than Japanese people.
Right.
So
but I think, but wasn't it? I mean, looking at the war through the Japanese eyes, from the eyes of a Japanese soldier, if you were, for example, trying to coordinate the Burma railway line, then all the Westerners, all the British, Dutch, everybody who was there, who were incarcerated, who had to work on the railway line, basically those people surrendered. So they surrendered to the Japanese prisoners. So I don't think they felt inferior. I think they felt morally far superior to the.
This is basically Japanese should
British.
apologize officially. They said, okay, apologize. They said remorse. They said many kind of words. It's not sufficient because Japanese hostage policy is whenever hostage should be kills themselves. They never allow to survive. Okay,
Right,
this
right.
is Japanese soldiers is principle.
Right.
But this is wrong. But the sort of mentality should be apologized. And but also they cannot take care of those people at the level of hostage, right? Lower than prisoners.
So
Kind
they would put Japanese soldiers put their country before their family.
Yeah.
Right. So that's I think that people, of course, soldiers anywhere, they go to war with the risk of being killed. But when the push comes to shove, everybody wants to survive in order to take care of their family.
Japanese people is mother and father send him son to the battlefield. You should not be survived. You should not be survived for the country. You just contribution for emperor.
Give your life.
Yeah. So many people dead. So this is basically at that time Japanese soldiers' mind. So they treat the same spirit against for the enemies controversies.
Right.
This is wrong. So kind of message Japanese government, Japanese people never speak out the kind of we did wrongdoing, right? So only apologize. It doesn't understand what you mean.
Right.
This is a problem. So this is Japanese problem. Japanese people try to avoid everything, deeper issues.
But it made Japan very, very strong versus Western nations. I think that's what's terrifying.
Yeah, that we need to study.
Americans and even though they didn't have the right food, the right shelter, the right arms compared to what Westerners had, still they were much more dangerous because they had commitment beyond.
Japanese kind of strange nationality they have, character they have, is completely different from the rest of the world, right? As you know, completely different. This is very dangerous people. That's the reason why after World War II, American government, very much careful about Japanese remilitarization.
Right.
Okay? Remilitarization means Japanese going to the same mindset coming up against the Westerners. They just still worrying about that. That's some meaning true. Okay, looks Japanese people very calm, but they know they suddenly change their mind. Right? So this is their attitude in the past.
Well, I
history.
mean, to some extent, I sometimes can compare it with ants. They are so well organized and easy to follow. All of a sudden, they create formations and then they move as one.
Yeah. But at that time, they don't consider for the logistics. They don't consider for the winning opportunities.
Right, strategic planning, strategic mind.
And Japanese only the very keen for tactics. right? So because also the problem is Japanese education system. So that is now is I'm try to do the same way, but Japanese people somewhat very strange people. I studied globally and I politics and cultures and militaries of more than 100 countries, as you know. Japanese is special, not like a similar country in the world. Very special, and he is very honest, very kind, different from the rest of the world. What's different? What's the difference is a big difference is Japanese has 2,600 years emperor's history. This is just only one in the world. What's the difference? It's not protecting emperor, okay? Not emperor's existence. It's strange, you know. Weird issues, okay? Japanese people protecting emperors for 2,600 years. Japanese people protect emperors. Japanese people side, not emperor. Usually like a British, you know, princess, they never continue more than 200 years. Everybody killed every time. All over the world, the same. Never continued 300, 400 years. But only Japan is 2,600 years. All the way around. Japanese people protect them. Issue is they protect. This is not normal. More ordinary people.
Bees do the same thing.
Huh?
Bees.
What do you mean?
Bees, they protect their queen.
Bees. Yes.
Yeah.
Bees protect the queen. But this is just only one country in the world.
Well, but maybe, because there is not another country that I can think of that is so cohesive, that is so closed, and where people are so similar than Japan. So that means that it's almost
Why are so similar to Japan?
So people in Japan are very cohesive. They are the same race, the same upbringing. It's basically your neighbor is almost like a brother, right? Even though you don't have any blood relationship, but the culture is very cohesive, which makes identifying yourself with others very easy. In the Netherlands, with a lot of immigrants, with constant changing, with peoples moving, you have all kinds of different cultures. It's obvious that my neighbor is a different person from me. We have a different cultural background. We enjoy that but because we feel that okay, that is interesting, that we can learn something from each other. So there is synergy between those different people if done right. At the moment in Europe, it's a little bit different. I think that a lot of people don't believe that there is synergy between people with different backgrounds. But it used to be like that. But in Japan, the synergy exists because everybody is similar. It's all like people really feel they look after each other, they care for each other, they try to act like one. This morning I played tennis with a guy who actually, whenever he couldn't reach the ball, he changed the racket and he played with his left hand. Like, huh? Japanese. And so I asked him about it. He said, yes, originally I'm left-handed, but because left-handed is actually different from the rest, I had to change to my right hand. Because otherwise people would frown upon me because I was different. So to be in line, to be consistent, to be one with your surrounding, homogeneous. Yeah. So to be one with your surrounding, to do exactly like the others do, there is value in it. There is people are very positive about being like everybody else. Not
so
to
just
out.
Back to our discussion. You told me Japanese people don't want to have different opinion.
Right.
But actually, as soon as you're going overseas, everybody against you. Right.
Right.
And
so we are soliciting. I feel that if Japanese people are discussing, they're soliciting to find common ground by very carefully feeling, okay, where's the other side exactly at? So not really poking, but carefully feeling and then getting closer and closer. And if there's any resistance, then change the angle and try again to feel, but not like in Western society, there's a head-on collision. So this is my opinion. What do you think? Bang, you get the other one back, and then bang, 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 and ultimately.
Do you know that Nissan president made signature approving Mr. Gone's, salary?
Right.
Right. But actually, they sued him. But president made signature for him.
Right.
Approval for him, because this is Japanese culture. Why he didn't against him? Okay, you try to get so much money.
Right.
But Japanese people never tell the truth. Right. This is Japanese mindset.
What's it? Ishikawa? No, what's his name? Not Ishikawa.
Name?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
But yeah.
So this is sort of things I see, I understand, and good point and bad point. But
in the court hearings, he said, "I love Japan" or something like that. Unbelievable.
Well, how unbelievable?
関係ない。I know, it's really, he doesn't take responsibility. He's the president, for crying out loud. He doesn't take responsibility for his things. He's basically hiding behind the fact this is our culture, I can't say no. And the court accepts it. I think that's... from a Western perspective, that's amazing. We can't do business with this man.
So what my intention is, Japanese need to talk with Westerners from their heart, right? And free discussion to share vision and mutual understanding. But tell the truth, Japanese people, they actually they do not do that. Very few people can do, but majority people never do that.
It's so fundamentally different that if you're always used to look for common ground, to find common understanding, to see what you can agree upon, without getting to the core, without getting too direct, without risking difference of opinion, because the difference of opinion is seen as a disruption of the harmony, whereas Westerners, they basically, their mindset is like, okay, bang, this is it, bang, that's it. It's expected. If it doesn't come back, either you don't feel it's worth communicating with me as a Westerner, or you feel, the other side, well, it's not a worthwhile person because he cannot discuss it at the same level, or he's not trustworthy because he's trying to
So by the way, how do you think about doing well with Japanese people? Currently, Japanese people is just, as you know, in the past more than 10 years, is very different kind of people in the world. And prime ministers and president, everybody go outside, but actually they cannot communicate with those people. Any of those they cannot. Okay, they send message, but they not against the rest of the world people. They never against opinion, right?
Right. There's no against opinion because that could result in that could break the harmony. So the risky part of that is that as a Westerner, if you express your opinion with the objective to actually get a counter opinion and to then kind of see, okay, where can we meet each other, then by expressing your opinion clearly without then not getting any response back, but people, Japanese people drawing their own conclusions without expressing it, then basically turning around and their actions will be against you. It's very risky.
Nissan case is a good example. president made signature approval for Mr. Gon's salary, a certain period of time, the kind of against him kind of burst against him suddenly, accumulating, frustrating, irritating, annoying him, right? This is kind of Japanese culture, gradually accumulating, and at final result, they burst, right? Always the same. So before burst, okay, increasing frustration, annoying, increasing step by step. No. Every step we need to communicate with Westerners to solve issues. If we can do that, we are just kind of the team member among rest of the world people. Currently, Japanese people are not in this society. Actually, Japanese people have power, or economical power, political power. The Westerners welcome them, but actually, they are not get inside. I know this is a problem.
How about Westerners? Do they get inside Japanese companies?
No.
Society?
They understand Japanese are kind of sort of smart and sort of difficult to involvement, and they are weird people. Weird, very some kind of special people. Overseas people understand, including you. Okay, we don't touch it. Okay, we can communicate with them at the same level of their treatment, kind of sort of things. And then you should not speak out, true opinion or the common sense kind of level of opinion. We're going to tell them, they never understand. Like a Nikkei newspaper level discussion, okay, but otherwise, it's risky to talk with them.
Well, it's especially risky because if I am frank, am expressing my opinion frankly, without getting a counter opinion and people immediately drawing their own conclusion without trying to create some kind of compromise, then basically I just throw in my own glasses.
They neglect your opinion.
Neglect, if in the best case. In the worst case, they just act against me.
Act against you. So this is my. Maybe I'm so honest. I don't need to touch kind of big gap among Western and Japanese. But honestly, I need to Japanese people, fairly amount of Japanese people, be globalized to communicate with overseas people. That's my responsibility to train Japanese people to be more globalized. And Japanese company, every company, they just, our company try to be more globalized, nothing happen. Okay, speaking English is not enough. But Japanese company misunderstand. Okay, you come from graduate school, you graduate university, so you are very, very understand Westerners. It's wrong. Just only you can speak English very well, that's it, right? They never understand the cultural contents. Right?
I do feel, for example, like I do really understand what you're saying, that actually people really learn the language very well. Yuku Ohashi, they speak fluent, perfect English, but they're still Japanese.
Yeah, still Japanese. But this is my concern.